Be a little gracious, right? If you want them to be classy, then we have to be classy in how we perceive them and in how we treat them.
Migrant worker dormitories in Singapore have been in the spotlight lately. Out of a total of 5,050 cases, 3,267 are linked to migrant worker dormitories, with another 258 not in dorms. This means that almost 70% of all cases in Singapore are from migrant workers. But what's alarming is that these cases only started appearing recently in April, with huge spikes in cases seen in April 9, 13, and 16. In a Facebook post on April 13, co-chair of Multi-Ministry Task Force for Covid-19, Minister Lawrence Wong, said that the number of cases related to dormitories will likely continue to increase as Singapore undertakes more aggressive testing of workers staying in dormitories. Manpower Minister Josephine Teo has also declared that all dormitories with clusters are under lockdown, which means no movement in and out of dorms, workers have to stay in their rooms, meals to be provided to avoid communal cooking and interaction amongst workers, scheduled staggered shower times, and testing of workers to identify and isolate infected individuals. Dormitories without clusters will also have the same safe distancing measures applied. Today, I speak to Dipa from It's Raining Raincoats, a local initiative that aims to spread compassion and recognition to foreign workers, to discuss how the virus has spread so rapidly in the foreign worker dormitories and what Singapore as a society can learn from this.
Okay, I'm Dipa Swaminathan, the founder of It's Raining Raincoats.
Thank you for being with us. So firstly, could you help us understand how the virus spread so quickly within the foreign worker dormitories?
In a day, there are probably 1,000 touch points where they interact with one another. It's not rocket science, I think. I mean, anybody who's seen, photos of the dormitory living conditions would know that, it's almost impossible for them to completely stay apart from one another. It's basically, about 30, sometimes people, living in one space. It's these bunk beds, right? I mean, if you're sleeping in multiple bunk beds, somebody sneezes from the top or whatever, and several of them share one toilet, everybody has to enter the dormitory through a gantry. That's already a touch point right there. The lorries that they climb into and climb out of, even if you enforce social distancing, just the very fact that they have to hold the railing to jump into the lorry and jump out, that's another touch point. They are transported in lorries where they sit, packed close together. It's just the biological trait of the virus. It goes from human to human when you're in close contact. These people are in close contact with one another all the time. They don't have an option. Social distancing is a luxury that they don't have.
So, what do you think could have been done better?
To some extent, perhaps, it was inevitable. They were not, for example, right at the outset provided, a mask, reusable masks or hand sanitizers, to prevent, the spread among themselves. This is the time when the dorm operators need to do their duty for not just the workers, but for the whole country in doing what they need to do to ensure that dormitories are clean, the inhabitants, the residents of the dormitories are provided for. These are human beings. They're not just tools in a trade. They are human beings. They suffer isolation, they suffer fever, and they suffer depression and anxiety just as much as you or me.
So for the Singaporeans that might be watching or listening to this now, what do you think they can do to help the foreign workers, both now and in the long run?
If they want to get more involved, there are groups like ours, It's Raining Raincoats. We're running a number of initiatives. There are other groups as well that are doing, great work. And more importantly, on a fundamental level, I hope that Singaporeans will understand the plight of these men and empathize with them and not accuse them. We don't see them accusing anybody that this virus has befallen them, Be a little gracious, right? If you want them to be classy, then we have to be classy in how we perceive them and in how we treat them.
So what do you think is the biggest takeaway in all of this?
I think as a community, we should be mindful that a virus like this could strike again, and our strength as a community is comes from how we support one another and how we keep each other safe. If one migrant worker was protected because he had a mask or because he had a sanitizer and he doesn't fall sick, it would benefit himself, it would benefit his mates, It would benefit the healthcare workers. It would benefit his company because they don't then need to quarantine him. It would then benefit the economy, and that would then benefit all of us. This is not us against them or one against the other. In these types of calamities, the safety of one is the safety of all.